wanted by wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name. Here we fucking go! Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
'Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very later than planned installment of the ICW Podcast, brought to you by Wrestling Matters. How are we all doing? Yes, it's very late, ladies and gentlemen, because I have been a busy man. I've been rushed off my feet. I've been working at the Middlesbrough Football Club, doing my stewarding job. I've basically been rushed off my feet, basically. And I've worked it all together and everything, and it's been very difficult, I'm not going to lie. But, hey, I'm still going to bring you them nonetheless. Be sure to check out my Wrestling Matters channel as well, AJW Wrestling Matters on YouTube. Be sure to check that out for the videos that I've done as well, and stuff like that, including a very mystery partner reveal as well. Possible anyway. I won't believe it until I've seen it, but it's on there anyway. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go right into it. It is ICW Podcast, and yep, I promised you that I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. ICW Fringe Night 3, okay? The third night of Fringe, the Fringe in and out stuff. So it starts outside with Luke Kingsharp protesting because he got fired for being a dick by Red Lightning. So that's nothing new. And then the matches kick off with Chris Renfrew versus Davey Boy. Now, these two went at it, man. I mean, Wee Man cuts a promo and, you know, gets on about Stevie Boy joining the NAK and whatnot. These two had a great match, man. A really good match to start off. I mean, it was hard-hitting and it was very personal because Davey Boy made a list when he fought Saqib Ali. He made a list showing a list of all the NAK that he was going to go through all of them to get revenge, which will probably lead to Stevie Boy being the last person. They broke up the Bucky Boys, and obviously Davey Boy wants revenge. And it was a great match, back and forth, hard-hitting, physical stuff. Just two really good wrestlers. I mean, they are both really, really good wrestlers, no doubt. And it all culminated with Chris hits a move on Davey Boy, and then a video plays of Mikey Whiplash, I went back ECW there. Mikey Whiplash on the video. Obviously, Mikey's sending a message to the NAK because Legion and NAK one-on-one will go at it at the Fear and Loathing show in November. So it's obviously going to be sending a message. It distracts Chris. Chris turned around. Davey hits the TKO and gets the victory. So first blood to Legion, so to speak. But all in all, it was a great match, great way to kick off, and Davey Blaze got the win. Davey Blaze, Davey Boy, whatever you want to call him. Divers was backstage with Chris Toll telling him to fuck off and everything, because apparently Chris has been stalking Dickie and that. And then on to Lionheart and Kenny Williams. Now, Lionheart and Kenny Williams, there wasn't really that much in this match. Just apart from one spot in the match where Kenny goes to dive on Lionheart on the outside. Lionheart gets out the way, and Kenny just seriously just hits the guardrail. He just dives on the guardrail basically, and I believe it was jaw first or something. But he really, really, really hurt himself. It didn't look good. And then the story of the match was towards the end because Kenny did a move on Lionheart. Lionheart was bent down, and then Kenny jumps over him and takes both his knees, takes the neck area of Lionheart and drives it to the mat like he's taking a face first front bump. Next minute, Lionheart is laid out This is on the video as well. I'll put the video in the description for you to see. There's a clip of this on the ICW YouTube page. He's laid out on the floor, and everybody thinks, oh my god, he's broke his neck again. You know, the neck's broken again, just like what happened in PCW with the AJ Styles incident. You know, it happened again. Kenny was upset, shaken, quite rightly so. Everybody was, you know, concerned about what happened and what was happening and everything, and you know, it didn't look good. Next minute, everybody's like clearing the pathway and everything. Lionheart pops up, super kicks Kenny Williams and gets the victory and just walks out like nothing ever happened. So Lionheart is back on the winning track, and yeah, it was what it was. At the end of the day, Lionheart gets the victory. Obviously, Kenny Williams was not too pleased about it. And then Lionheart's backstage with Veronica Lestrange saying, you know, he's cutting a promo saying that where was ICW when he broke his neck the first time around? What was this, and this? You know, he did what he could, showing sympathy in that, and he just basically told everyone to fuck off, kind of thing. Anyway, the next match after that was Dickie Davers and Trent Seven. Dickie started this off with, he didn't even look like he wanted to be there. But these two eventually, when things got going, these two eventually had a good match. Hard-hitting, physical stuff. Davers is when, at this point, Davers was in a bit of a downfall because ever since he lost the square goal briefcase, you know, he went downward spiral. And Trent Seven, he's just a fierce competitor, no doubt. And these two had a hard-hitting, physical match, which ended with Trent getting the FU, or the Party of 7 FU number 8 kind of move. His finishing move nonetheless, and gets the win. And Tall stalks Dickie again. But these two, great match. Hard-hitting, physical match, and yeah, really, really good. Good for the time they had as well, because they didn't have that much time. I think they had about at least 10, maybe 15 minutes. I don't know. And if you think about it, 10-15 minutes is really not that much time, especially for a wrestling match at least. But all in all, it was a good match. And then the main event of the first hour was Geezers, which was Steel Cold Steve Austin's favourite team. Apparently, Stone Cold's a big fan of these guys, and they made their ICW debut against Iron Jew. Now, they cut a promo. Iron Jew agreed to put their number one contendership, because at this point, they were the number one contenders for the tag team titles held by Polo Promotions. It wasn't really that much of a wrestling match, to be honest with you. There was some wrestling in the match at a certain point of the match, but it was mainly all about entertainment and comedy, and, you know, I mean, at one point, Iron Jew were mocking the Finger Poke of Doom, which was from WCW back in the day with Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan. They were mocking that, which was hilarious. All in all, though, it was okay. It was a good match. I mean, at one point, they even brought a slip and slide into the match. Yeah, a slip and slide. Very liquid and all and everything. And also the Geezers had a Vince McMahon moment, which was one of my favourite moments, because if you guys go back to, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was Unforgiven 2006 when they had the handicap Hell in the Cell match, McMahon's and DX, and Big Show was involved, and Vince McMahon went up Big Show's ass, so to speak. Face first into Big Show's big ass kind of thing. Well, that's what happened here as well, except it was Geezer going up a Geezer's ass, if you will. It was hilarious. Grado executing a cartwheel head scissors takedown, which got over with the audience, including Colt Cabana. I mean, they were messing about at first, and then Grado says, "Here, let me come in, I've got to move. I want to move the tryout." And he does this cartwheel, grabs the head, and takes like a head scissors takedown. I thought it was great, and it got over with the audience as well. Even like I say, even Colt Cabana couldn't believe it. He was like, "Holy shit!" And he got a holy shit chant out of it, which was something. And Geezers ended up doing like, it was a case of like entertainment tag team in this match for me. It was like more like an entertainment tag team match than a wrestling match. There was some wrestling in it, but it was more entertainment. You know, more having fun. Like I say, Geezers doing their Dudley Boys impersonation, the was that, and it all ended with the rolling cannonball slide. Iron Jew hit GTS, and then the wee boot combination, which is go to sleep, and then Grado hits the wee boot and gets the win. And then backstage, Coach Tripp was taking notes, obviously, because, you know, Iron Jew, the number one contenders for the World Tag Team, the ICW Tag Team titles. He was backstage, and then he goes back to Polo Promotions, but gets jumped by Sha Samuels. You know, 55 had beef with the Polo Promotions because DCT wants Bram for what Bram did to DCT's wife Viper at the wedding, and, you know, 55 55 ruining the wedding and all that, and obviously DCT wants vengeance. And Chas Samuel sends a message to Polo Promotions on behalf of the 55. It says, the 55 do what they want. Oosh! It was like listening to Frankie Fryer on Saturday mornings. It was, the 55 do what the fuck they want. Oosh! It was hilarious. It was like listening to Frankie Fryer on Soccer Saturday. Oh, not Soccer Saturday, Soccer AM. It was just good stuff. Oosh! It was just, it was just pure gold. It was hilarious. Really good moment. And then go back outside. Iron Jew show respect to geezers, and they call out Polo Promotions and say at the final Fringe show, it's going to be, ICW Tag Team Champions, Iron Jew. Then backstage, Trent gives an interview, very happy about what happened with his win and everything. And then Kenny is obviously angry, like I mentioned. He didn't take that loss very kindly, which led to the show that I reviewed last week, them two having a confrontation on that show. All of that led to that. And then Luke King causes havoc and eventually gets signed back to the ICW roster. But I won't go talk about that too much. And then after that, we got a nice little preview of what was going to take place at Fear and Loathing in November between the NAK and Legion. Now, this six-man tag was not in a cage. It was just a normal six-man tag. At least so we thought. It was like a tornado because there was no tags in there. It was just a six-man fight. It was NAK's Stevie Boy, Wolfgang, and BT Gunn versus Legion, which was Michael Dante, Tommy End, and Mikey Whiplash. Now, the differences between this was a preview, because I guarantee you this, at Fear and Loathing, Stevie Boy will be replaced with Chris Renfrew. Renfrew already had a match earlier on in the night against Davey Boy, but Chris will be in the sixth man at Fear and Loathing. This was just a little preview, and it was everything we expected, man. It was a straight up fight. They even continued it after the match. Straight up brawl, fight in the crowd, all over the place. They just fought and fought and fought and fought. And my favourite spot in the match was Mikey Whiplash did a powerbomb to Kaylee Ray once, and powerbombed the right in the audience, from the ring straight into the audience. Dante did it, but he did it he was in the audience. He had Stevie Boy up, he was in the audience, and he did it, and Stevie Boy went right over the crowd, back into the ringside area where everybody was at, and landed on that. It was just good stuff. But these two teams fought each other, and this was just a little example of what it was going to be like at Fear and Loathing, because if you think this was something, you wait until they're in the cage. It's going to be a bloodbath in a cage. Whiplash was hitting dives for fun, which was hilarious. He's so good at it. He just dives after dives after dives, man. Some great triple teaming by Legion as well. Same with NAK. This was just a really, really good match, really good fashion, all-out brawl is what it was. And like I say, it's going to be probably 10 times worse when they eventually get to Fear and Loathing. And it ended with Renfrew getting involved, hitting a stunner on Mikey Whiplash, and NAK getting the victory over it, which I guarantee will not happen in the cage. And then the NAK, like I said, put a post-match beat down. But these two teams want to beat the hell out of each other. They've done it. They did it here in this match, and if this match was any indication of what Fear and Loathing is going to be like, I think all bloodthirsty hardcore fans are going to be in for a treat, because it's going to be insane. Alright, this match was not in the cage. Fear and Loathing will be in the cage, and hopefully it will sell this once and for all. It was just good stuff to watch. And the fight even still went on and on and on. It took the time trying to stop the fight in a way, because the NAK were beating up Mikey Whiplash. Anyway, moving swiftly on, Sammii Jayne versus Layla Rose. Nothing really much in this match. Nikki Storm tried to get involved, didn't work, and Layla just dominated Sammii. Sammii did come close, but mistake after mistake cost Layla to win the match, and Sammii lost the match, and it was not particularly pleasing, because Nikki wanted an easy ride to the final. Sammii Jayne versus Nikki Storm, and I believe it's going to be Fear and Loathing. They wanted that to happen, Sammii Jayne laying down, didn't happen, and Layla Rose, I believe it's going to be Layla Rose and Nikki Storm in that semi-final. So, moving swiftly on, by the way, them two argue backstage and everything, they have a little disagreement kind of thing, and moving on, again, the next match was scheduled to be Noam Dar and Red Lightning, but the match never really got off. Noam Dar came out, Sha Samuels attacked him, then Jester came out, tombstones him, and then Red Lightning comes out and just covers him and gets an easy win. So I'll move straight on to the last match, the main event, which was Joe Coffey and Drew Galloway. These two basically went at it for half an hour, and it was a back and forth match. Sha tries to get involved, doesn't work. Drew just cannot put Joe away. It was basically a combination of what happened at Barrowmania, because it was kind of like that. I mean, these two could have a main event anywhere, and they did at Barrowmania for the world title. And like I said, it was just hard-hitting, physical, half an hour wrestling match, fight, whatever you want to call it. Sha attacks and Jester joins in after the match, and Red abuses his power. It ended poorly, in my opinion, because Red stopped the match and everything, just basically cancelled the match because he knew that Joe was on the verge of beating Drew. I'm sorry, it seemed that way. And they Black Label ruled the world, so to speak, and Sha Samuel was out there soaking it all in, laughing it up. It just ruined the match for me. I mean, these two were having a hell of a match. These two basically wrestled for half an hour at the most. Half an hour, maybe 25 minutes, 20 minutes. And then Red Lightning goes in and ruins it, being the villain GM that he is. Hopefully this will end September 20th, please. And Mark Dallas will take back his reins and take back the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. And then after that, though, Damo was on the Videotron and said that he was going to come out, but played mind games with the guys because everybody thought that he wasn't coming out, like what Drew did. Drew did exactly the same with him, and then Jack hits him with a chair. Well, Damo said, you all think you're tough guys and everything. Damo was going to come out, but everybody thought that he wasn't going to come out. But Damo did come out, because while he was still on the Tron distracting the guys, came out from under the ring, tells Jester to turn around, or tells them to turn around. Jester turns around, takes a chair in his face. Basically, Damo got a small measure of revenge and got a receipt, if you will, for what happened to him in the same situation that he did to Jester. And that was the end of the show. And all in all, it was a good show. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It wasn't the best show they've done, but hey, it was good nonetheless. I've been thoroughly entertained with ICW, and I'm looking forward to the September 20th show as well. Hopefully that'll be the end of Red Lightning. Like I say, all in all, good show. Like I say, 4 out of 10, and looking forward to watching number 4 as well. Hopefully they fixed it though, because I think they've cut something out. They cut the best part of the show out for me, but hopefully they've mended that. But I'll review that at a later date, maybe next week, I don't know. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the ICW podcast here presented by Wrestling Matters. My name is Anthony Walker. Also check out the Progress Wrestling podcast, guys. Sorry it's going to be late. It's going to be probably the same again next week, all being well. Hopefully it won't be, because I'm busy next week as well. Tuesday I had a football match to Stuart. I've got another one to do next week. So like, all in all, hopefully I can get these done out in time. If I can't, I apologise, but I will get them out to you, and no ifs, no buts about it. They will be out at some point during that week. Check it out on AJW Wrestling Matters on YouTube and SoundCloud as well. And also I'm working on a few things as well, a few exciting things for the podcast involving some people that I've agreed to work with outside the podcast, like websites and that. So shout out to Wrestling Express, shout out to OSW TV, shout out to RFPW Official. Check them out as well. He does shows on Twitter and that does shows on Twitter, on Twitch TV, twitch.tv. And until next time, guys, my name is Anthony Walker. See ya.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
That's 13-14!
Till death!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
'Cause that's the bottom line. 'Cause Stone Cold